Expulsions. Let's welcome political analyst Ralph Mathekga, who joins us on the line to shed further light on this. Ralph, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to PM News.
Good afternoon and thanks for having me on your show.
Now, Ralph, let's first understand this. Is this legally permissible for Rwanda, considering that the so-called attempted assassinations are still just allegations and speculations to the most part?
Well, it's not acceptable, it's not legally permissible, because when someone has been accorded diplomatic protection, what that means is that that person actually is under the custodian of the country that has afforded that protection. And therefore, any country outside the jurisdiction of the country that has accorded someone a diplomatic kind of protection cannot act on that person, because if you can be able to act on that person, it almost amounts to something that you can call some form of rendition on a citizen of another country being accorded that protection. So it's not legally permissible for such kind of measures to be undertaken.
Now, Ralph, what could this do to the two countries' relationships? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a symbiotic relationship.
Before the whole incident, Rwanda and South Africa have had what you can call a cordial or an amicable relationship. We know that Rwanda traditionally has been associated with what has been characterized as a francophone country. Usually, francophone countries which have been the colonies of France, they do not have a good relationship with what you can call anglophone or countries such as South Africa, which have had close ties with Britain. But Rwanda has actually broken the ranks with its anglophone, its francophone tradition. It was becoming a much more cordial to South Africa. And even traveling to Rwanda, you have this kind of deliberate effort to get the country to warm up towards speaking English. And I think their relationship with South Africa was also an expression of this view that Rwanda is breaking ranks with its traditional colonial master, therefore is building a new relationship with countries such as South Africa. But I think that this incident has actually amounted to a setback on that relationship, because with what we have, South Africa is currently being embarrassed by what has happened within its borders, and I think that has a dent on the relationship between the two countries going forward.
Now, Ralph, for Rwanda to say they are concerned that SA is harboring descendants responsible for terrorist attacks in that country, is this a fair statement at all?
It is not a fair statement, because South Africa is part of the international community. And being part of the international community, what that means is that you are therefore expected to be able to protect certain individuals who might come from countries that you have a bilateral relationship with. And those are countries where those individuals might decry human rights violation or some form of unjustifiable incarceration. So those individuals who find themselves within South Africa and therefore have been fleeing unjustified incarceration or human rights violation in Rwanda, South Africa is bound by its virtue of the fact that it is part of the international community to protect those individuals. Under normal circumstances, that is supposed to be managed in a way that it does not have a negative impact on the bilateral relationship that South Africa has with Rwanda. But unfortunately, that has not been managed very well, and Rwanda seems to be of the view that South Africa does not have an international moral obligation to protect those individuals. I believe that irrespective of how Rwanda feels about those individuals, they might see them as rogue individuals. But I believe that if you look at international law, South Africa, it is obligated as part of the international community to afford those individuals certain protection within the borders of South Africa.
Thank you so much. Of course, that was Ralph Mathekga, independent media and political analyst, talking to us about the latest diplomatic expulsion.